Hello and thank you for joining us for Community Crossroads. I'm your host Karina Garcia, and here's a look at today's show. We first sit down with the Salvation Army of Victoria to talk about their restoration efforts following Hurricane Beryl. And then we talk to an elder law attorney for detecting fraud against elders, followed by Theater of Victoria, who's here to talk about their Cinderella musical. And Our Lady of Sorrows has some big plans on the way, and we talk about them or with them later in the show. And joining us now is Captain Kenny Jones with the Salvation Army of Victoria. Captain Kenny, welcome to the show.
Good morning, Karina. How are you?
Always a pleasure to have you on the show.
Thank you. It's a great pleasure to be here.
So you've been around the Crossroads area helping those impacted by Hurricane Beryl. What are some things you've seen out there?
Well, a lot of what we've seen are just folks that are having flooded situations. There is a lot of damage down around the Matagorda Bay, and the closer you get to, of course, to the coast itself. But most of what we've seen is flooding. Harris County is still underwater in some areas. We're still feeding there. We're still feeding some right along the coastline where there was more damage. What we are also seeing is a lot of folks coming together to help one another. So that's a good thing in these days.
Yeah, very strong community ties in our area.
Yes.
But you were saying you have several stations. You have one out in Palacios, you have another one in Wharton that's feeding the community. Talk to me about how many meals have you guys passed out?
For our effort for the Beryl event, we've already served, and this was as of Sunday. We've served 54,000, a little over 54,000 meals. We've served about 50,000 drinks, water, what have you, Gatorade. We've served about 7,500 snacks. We've done about 6,000 spiritual events where we've been able to one-on-one pray with somebody or speak with somebody and give them some support in that manner. The list of cities and counties that we've served in is humongous. I mean, you've got everything all the way up the coastline almost to Louisiana. So we've served in a lot of different counties, a lot of different cities. Our canteen from Victoria, we would go to Wharton and pick up the meals, and then we would go to Palacios and Matagorda to serve the meals.
And then so talk to me about, so luckily here in Victoria, the Hurricane Beryl didn't really, we got some rains, we got some strong winds, but we weren't hit as hard.
No.
Was there anything in our community that really helped Salvation Army of Victoria kind of push forth and help others in our surrounding areas?
Well, I think, if I'm understanding your question correct, the one thing that helped us to be able to expand our effort is that we didn't have any relief to serve here. We opened, the Red Cross opened 2 shelters here. The Sunday prior, or the Sunday during the event, but both of those shelters closed by Monday at noon. So then our canteen was freed up to travel. Feeding here, we would not have needed our canteen. We just deliver the food to the shelters and feed there. So that freed us up to take our canteen to go out to folks that were not able to make it to shelters, that were not able to leave their homes, for security reasons.
Yeah.
So the efforts here were minimal because we just praise God, we didn't have a lot of damage and rain here. Yeah.
So it's been almost a week since Hurricane Beryl. How much more work is there need to be done?
Right now, I see in Houston, I believe there's maybe a little less than 300,000 folks that are still without power. There are some smaller communities outlying a little closer to the coast and closer even to around Houston that are without power. But for the majority, it's Harris County. It's right in Houston. And of course, we all know that Houston floods.
Right.
And so the Salvation Army, our base camp is in Houston, to where we have 20, at the peak we had 27 units, mobile feeding units staged there at Houston, ready to go out to the outlying areas. But Houston is still
very much recovering.
Very much recovering. Yep.
Yeah. Well,
Yes,
Captain
ma'am.
Kenny, thank you so much for the work, and thank you for coming on the show once
You're
again.
welcome. Thanks for having us.
Absolutely.
All right.
And for everyone at home watching, stay with us because we have more Community Crossroads up next to discuss elder abuse prevention.